Khan Shalom Akim, as always. Kahalan Imna, Yahaba Shem Yashab Bashem Hakodash, and double honest to the great Muslim apostles as well. And Father Yahweh for the strength in order to make this video as well. And obviously, as you can see from the title, the topic today is the 3 levels of insanity. Because what actually brought this topic into mind was when I was watching a movie with a friend of mine, and he was just telling me about the fact that some prisoners, they may be categorized by 3 levels of insanity. But that was some separate documentary that he was watching on his own. So that's what got me that day, that, you know, as we're going through these times that we're currently going through, which, you know, as the chaos of Russia and Ukraine, you got the juice as well, which obviously people have forgotten right now. That's like the way all the other events people have forgotten too. But, you know, Esau still got many plans to then execute. So, of course, the point being is that the way he mentioned that there's 3 levels of insanity, the thing is the elect as well, you know, us being the hopeful elects, because we're actually hoping to be that part of that group. The thing is, we know that eventually Esau will probably label us between these 3 levels as well. It's just, you know, it's one of those possibilities that you got to consider as well. Because, you know, Esau, and as you see in the movies where, you know, he's got his what is it, it's either his whiteboard or, you know, his board to see what brothers are connected to, what brothers are connected to what brothers, or what affiliations and everything. So, you know, as we risk our lives to this truth, we know that we're going to get labeled. So it's that labeling, that's what I'm going to focus on in this topic. So let me get the first precept out, which I think is the root of this topic really. Let's see. Okay, I'm coming. So okay, let me try again. 10:24. Because, you know, as the scriptures say, that the wisdom of this world is foolishness, and of course the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yashai is what we're supposed to focus on. Well, I think this one's the scripture that refers to that. Yeah, I think it's Colossians. Actually, not Colossians. Where is it? But yeah, Corinthians. Alright, calm. So, let's see. Says here, 1 Corinthians 3 verse 19, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with God, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So obviously, whatever these heathens may be thinking, you know, thinking about preparation for the time to come, you know, thinking that stocking up is actually going to help you in the time to come. Because, you know, I'll get into it because the fact that when they hear, okay, how are you going to prepare for these times? And I'm just referring to, you know, jakes that you may be talking to, because I know I've talked to a few jakes as well, but, you know, those jakes are still in the worldly religions, innit? You know, and then being in the world religion, the thing is, I know that he's got some knowledge on the scriptures as well, because he has his you know, Sunday school thing that he's going to, or whatever it is, some gathering. You know, like those youth churches, which I've had another person try and invite me to that nonsense as well. But anyways, going back to the point, the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So of course the point being is, I'm coming. So look, I was thinking whether I should read the one before. But the point being is, the wisdom of this world is not really useful to us, especially with the priority, the goal of what we're supposed to achieve, which is really to push Yahushai's kingdom and obviously gather up the elect for Yahushai. And of course, to gain that salvation as well, which is part of the goal. So of course, as we're here in this world, we know that the knowledge that we have is going to be contrary unto the world as well, which I think it links to another scripture as well. Let me get it. It's contrary unto this world, man. Because when we say that we got our faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, compared to, you know, heathens who think in carnality, of course, it's going to be contrary unto them. Because logically, they can't think that, okay, if they run out of food or if they run out of water, they can't like put their faith in all of their faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. And the thing is, we know we're going to come into a time in Jacob's trouble where we're going to rely on Yahweh Hashem Yahushai 100%, because of the fact that we're going to have nothing anyways. Because we don't have the riches of this world. We ain't got nothing to prepare for. Obviously, I'm not trying to say that, you know, you can't really prepare for something, but, you know, as Yahweh Hashem Yahushai has given us the wisdom to know what's to come, of course, there's only so far that you can go with the preparation, which is really the point of what I'm saying. So, of course, when it reaches that point where it's like, okay, you know, brothers can't really afford food, or not even afford food, but let's say straight up to the mark of the beast where, you know, we can't buy or sell, you can't really eat really at that point, you can't really buy water, you can't drink anything. You know, it's all up to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to provide us what we need for that season, which is why it's going to be the greatest test of faith. We may have our mini test of faith, but then of course we're going to need to, it's going to upgrade in this beast system as well, which is obviously for a temporary time. So 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7, I think that's the one I was going to get. 2 verse 7. And yeah, going back to the point of 3 levels of insanity, I'll read the definition soon as well. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai as well. Gotta read those definitions. So 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7, it says, oh yeah, I gotta read another precept as well to add on to that. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7 says, but we speak the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Yahweh ordained before the world unto our glory. And of course, I think that world is also a reference to Israel as well, because, you know, Israel, and not just the whole, not the whole Israel. If you're really talking about, like, you know, what specific world within that world, you know, what specific group, it's really talking about the elect really. And of course, as we keep hoping day by day, week in, week out, that we're part of that, the elect. Hence why we say hopeful elect, because, you know, we've got a faith that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai will be worthy to be part of those men that, you know, endure to the end. And of course that Yahushua will crown in the chariots. So yeah, 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7, but we speak the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom. Because of course not all wisdom is actually exposed to everyone, man. The type of knowledge that you got of the chariots, and knowing that the angels are the one manipulating them, and knowing that the fact that, you know, during camp the angels are there as well. Sometimes they may change color as well, as like a little greeting or something, you know, from the chariots. You know, it's not common knowledge. It's not common knowledge to the average Jake. It's not common knowledge to, of course, this world, to people of this world, and of course even Esau as well. Though, you know, he searches the whole earth for knowledge. You know, he does his deep search, his diligent search. The thing is, even Esau don't know everything, man. So anyways, linking back to the topic though, because of the fact that I said the 3 levels of insanity. Let me try to get the definitions, and the definitions are on Urban Dictionary, because I tried to find it from other sources. I didn't really get that, but yeah, let me get to the topic, to the definitions. It was in Urban Dictionary. Of course, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, I'll probably edit the video so that either edit the video or I'll just put it in the description after I've uploaded it. So let's get to the definitions. Okay, let's see. Got a sworn where definition should be here though. Yes, a lot here. Okay, my God. Just let me get this. Alright, calm. So, you know, you got sane, that's the first level, you know, that's normality, that's the normal level, you know, the average Joe, as people say, the average heathen, or the average person, let's just say, that's sane. They're the ones who are described as sane, you know, the ones who pretty much, you know, comply by the rules, just living a normal life, you know, something usual, on a leveled plane. Then you got the definition of insane, where it says here, the label given to people who open the door that sane people keep closed. So again, they're the ones who go into the weird stuff, innit? Right. So it says the label given to people who open the door that sane people keep closed. The people who are consumed by the awareness of their existence when everyone else is blind to their own, and a people who can distinguish the reality of illusion from those who live in the illusion of reality. So of course, those who can pretty much differentiate between what's real and what's not. And as we know, as the scriptures say, the things of this world passeth away. So of course we know that pretty much all of the things upon this earth of which we may gain or may not gain, they're all vanity at the end of the day, because we know in the time to come it's all going to get destroyed, it's all going to get wiped out. So again, that type of knowledge is what helps us to distinguish the fact that this reality that we're experiencing right now is not really the real deal. It's really an illusion, because it's only going to last for so long. The real reality to come is when Yahushua is going to be ruling, and that's the time where Israel's going to be in power. So that's the definition of insane right there, where it says the people who can distinguish the reality of illusion from those who live the illusion of reality. So of course, those who live the illusion of reality, they believe in the carnal world. They believe in the gains of this world, which is why they pride themselves upon vain goods. Because imagine you're able to distinguish what's worthless and what's really what really has value. And of course, as Akim has repeated many times, is this truth, this scripture, this scriptural understanding, the knowledge that we have of the chariots, of the angels, of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, the names Yahweh wa Yahushua, and of course the knowledge to have the wisdom to then navigate throughout this world as well. And we know that obviously I think, because I was thinking of another scripture as well, pertaining to the fact that we know that what we hold in our minds right now is not of this world. It's given from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, it's ordained from Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. I mean, yeah, it was literally right in front of me. It's 1 Corinthians 2 verse 7. It says, but we speak the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua in a mystery. So of course, a mystery is not something that everyone understands, man. It's like a door. A mystery is like a door, of which you have to have a key to unlock it. And obviously, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua has given us the key, to unlock the mysteries that is hidden to the rest of the world, and obviously we own. So that's the point that was the scripture that I was trying to get. So that's insanity, the definition of insanity. Then you got Supersane. Supersane, because first level was sane, that's normality. Second level was insane. Then you got the third level, which is super sane. So that's when I'll read it right now. It says here, a point where sanity in the traditional sense is dwarfed. So dwarfed, like I think suppressed by logic in the explanations of this logic. Let me read that again. A point where sanity in the traditional sense is dwarfed by logic in the explanations of this logic make normal, or what one may consider normal sanity, look like stupidity, or very least ignorance. Therefore one would be considered, although completely backed by logic and fact, to be super sane, or to suffer from knowing too much, for having too much information, to be considered on a plane of normal sanity. So of course, from the definition right there, just to try and simplify it for you brothers as well, is the fact that a person who's super sane is basically someone who has a lot of knowledge to the point where if he explains something, it makes sense, but it makes the explanation of the sane person look stupid. So basically, let me try and think of an example just to for the edification and the understanding as well. For a super sane person, let's say pertaining to the scriptures, I think someone who someone who has a lot of knowledge, and obviously if they explain something compared to the same person will be seen as stupid. So let's say let's go back to the chariots, innit? So the chariots, obviously the way the world explains it, they call it unidentified flying phenomenon. Actually, that's UAP or UFP or something. Unidentified flying object. Oh yeah, that's UFO. Yeah. So unidentified flying object. That's what the world calls it. They call it unidentified because obviously they don't know the entities controlling that vehicle, or which Esau's struggling to capture, I guess. So that's the way Esau explains it. That's where the world explains it. But then with our understanding of the scriptures, we know that, after reading like scriptures such as Ezekiel chapter 1, we know that obviously there's a specific type of design to these chariots as well. So from the design of these chariots as well, we know that the angels, because it says, I think, I might even read it right now, just a quick one, just to show how the chariots are pretty much manipulated, man. Because the controls of the chariots are far more easier than what Esau does with his aeroplanes. With the chariots, the thing is, it's controlled by the spirit of the angel. So, let me get Ezekiel 1. I think it's Ezekiel 1 verse 20. Because it's by the spirit of the angel. That's the way the chariots move. So let's say if the angel thought of it to move left, the chariot would move left with it. If the angel thought of it to move right, the chariot will move right with it. So obviously the chariot is in sync with the angel's spirit. That's the way it is. So let me get Ezekiel 1 verse 20 so that, you brothers know that I'm trying to back up what I'm saying with the scriptures. So it says, because, Ezekiel chapter 1, so okay, let me get this, let me get some context, I guess. Wait. And this is Ezekiel chapter 1, man. It's a mystery as well, Not every Israelite is actually going to understand this. Some Israelites be discussing, waffling nonsense, not even understanding what that is talking about, the chariots, man. Right, let me get this. Alright. Yeah, so this is the description of the chariot, where it says in Ezekiel 1 verse 16, the appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the colour of a beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So obviously it had that circular design, that architectural design of the chariot, a wheel within a wheel. Just imagine a circle within a circle. Like if you saw it in a 2D format, flat on paper, that's the way it would look like. A wheel within a wheel, a circle within a circle. That's the way the chariot would look like. And obviously that's just one type of design. There's many designs that, we're yet to see. And obviously Kingdom Come, we're going to see more. So anyways, this is also going back to the point of, a super sane person compared to a sane person. And obviously through faith as well, we know that we're the ones who are really super sane, obviously as the hopeful elect, but also as the hopeful elect as well, being the hopeful elect, we really hope to be part of the super sane, where you pretty much categorize there as having the wisdom of Yahweh Shem Yahshai and not the wisdom of the world. Obviously we still got the wisdom of the world, but there's also a difference where we help to navigate throughout this world as well. We gain help to navigate throughout this world. Right, so I think that's Ezekiel 1 verse 16 in terms of the appearance of the chariots. So let me go to the actual point where I was saying the angels control it through their minds, and that's something where not every Israelite would know. That not every Israelite would know, because as I said before, some Israelites, they're just trying to understand it, but they can't, because Yahweh Shem Yahshai has unlocked the key in their spirits here to have that understanding. So it says in Ezekiel 1 verse 20, this is the key part that shows where that the angels, the chariots are synced up with the angel's spirit. And it says here, and brothers have had dreams as well. I'll probably try and remember one of the accounts that the brother, I don't know who the brother was, because this was like probably 1 or 2 years ago. But let me read Ezekiel 1 verse 20. It says, whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went thither. Was their spirit, then read it again, Ezekiel 1 verse 20. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and their wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So, and it says I'll read verse 21 as well, because it supports it too. It says, when those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. So again, that proves it right there, that the spirit of the angels were synced, were connected with the chariots, the vehicles, those vehicles that are described in Ezekiel 1:16 as having a will within a will. So of course, that type of knowledge you would see as Esau will probably label it as Supersane. Obviously, not all of these heathens would adopt that type of belief, but of course, you gotta have the key, to have the faith, and also not just have the faith, but also to have the knowledge as well. Not everyone has that knowledge. Not all Israel, not all heathens have that knowledge as well. But of course, that's the type of knowledge that a super sane person would have. But then compared to the sane, the normal world, the thing is Esau will just label it as a unidentified flying object or flying phenomenon. So obviously in the sane world, it's a lower level explanation because they don't have much understanding of it. But from the super sane world, we know that obviously angels are in those chariots, and not just angels as well. The thing is their minds control the chariots, and we know the true intentions of those angels as well, which is to do the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And part of that is also to protect the elect as well and watch over them. That's why brothers brothers pretty much see they see the chariots in the sky, man, during camps. And that's when we say Kah halalim la Yahweh Shem Yahshai. The reason why I say Kah halalim la Yahweh Shem Yahshai, because we're grateful for the fact that Yahweh Shem Yahshai is bringing that faith booster, that the chariots are here, Yahweh Shem Yahshai is still watching. The time is coming closer and closer for the beast system to come, and then to also fall. Then eventually the salvation of the elect will come. So these signs are the signs of things to come, a faith booster for us, which is why we keep going as well. So that's comparing the super sane to the sane, because obviously stupidity is stupidity to those who have super sane knowledge, because we know that obviously it's not really unidentified. To Israel, it should be identified, but to the rest of people, heathens, to the 2/3, they're seen as unidentified as well. So of course, so look, I thought I recognized something, but anyways, yeah. So of course, Esau not knowing these things, heathens, 2/3 not knowing these things, are trying to explain it. It will be seen as stupid compared to those who actually have the actual understanding for these chariots. So that's just an example of a super sane person. Because again, going back to the definition, a super sane person, when he would explain something, the thing is, a super sane person would their explanation compared to the explanation of the sane person, the explanation of that sane person, S-A-N-E, sane, it will make that explanation look stupid, basically. Because the super sane, which in this case, the elect, the hopeful elect, Yahweh Shem Yahshai will be worthy, they're the ones who actually have the true knowledge and the ability to discern illusion from reality. Again, going back to those vain goods of this world. So, which is why we know how to navigate ourselves in this world. We know not to really get tempted by certain things. We know how to, again, it all goes back to navigating throughout this world until we reach salvation, man, and doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. So of course, 3 levels of insanity. You got sane, normality. You got insane, distinguishing between reality and illusion, and you got super sane, which is the ones you have a lot of knowledge. And going back to what I was, because I took some notes as well. Going back to what I was saying, the elect, in the eyes of the elites of Esau, those who are on top of in Esau's family. The thing is, in Esau's eyes, they'll be seen as super sane. In the eyes of those who, right now, obviously, would be part of the hopeful elect, but he will see the apostles, the elders. I'm talking about Esau here. In his perception of the apostles, the elders, and brothers out there as well, keep going. Things he will see them as super sane, and of course, because as an example that I gave, their explanation of things will render Esau's explanation as stupid as well. Even though in his eyes, really, he would think that, well, not really in his eyes, but rather the eyes of the average heathen will see us as insane, because obviously we believe in these things, and obviously we got the knowledge, and if we were to even explain it to them, they won't really get it, so it's not for them anyways. But yeah, let me get I feel I was gonna get something. Let me get Colossians 1 verse 26, because obviously it's not for everyone. The mysteries aren't for everyone. Right. Colossians 1 verse 26. Right. So obviously, Yahba Shemi Ashara Tazal Yakim also understand, because the main topic today was just to explain, or get some precepts that link to the 3 levels of sanity. You got sane, normality, insane, which obviously distinguishes the illusions from reality, and obviously we know the reality to come is the real reality, which means Yahweh Shai's kingdom, because whatever's temporary right now is really just an illusion. It's not to last. And then obviously you got the third definition, which is super sane, which again I gave an example of the chariots. The explanation of the sane person, the normal person, the so-called normal person, would be stupid compared to the explanation of the super sane person, because the super sane person would be the one who has a lot of knowledge, what the world will regard as too much knowledge, because this knowledge ain't the type to be unlocked for everyone, which is why I'm going to get this precept right now. It says in Colossians 1 verse 26, even the mystery which hath been hid from ages and from generations, but now is made manifest to his saints. So of course it says here in Colossians 1 verse 26, man, that it shows that that's basic support right there, that it's not for everyone, man. This mystery is not for everyone. So obviously we have to be grateful for grateful, and then show our gratefulness to Yahweh Shem Shai for giving us this knowledge, man. Because imagine being in this world and thinking and priding yourself upon vain goods, and obviously I know everyone actually knows that these things are going to fade away as well. I was talking about Israel here, man. Imagine being an Israelite and then obviously thinking that the world is still going to go on. Yeah. And when I say the world, I'm talking about Esau's world still going to go on. Because obviously everything's going to fall soon. And that's what people can't really perceive or understand. So let me get my next one. Yeah, linking to insane as well. Because I think I wrote down some precepts to link to it. Because insane, it was said in the definition that the insane people would open doors that the sane people don't. So obviously trying to gain this understanding, the same people wouldn't. And another example as well is also, the fact that the scriptures describe Yahweh Shai as a dark brown individual. The thing is, when you go to a typical Israelite, who goes to church and participates in the idolatry, the thing is, you'll realize that them type of Israelites, not all of them would actually be interested to actually know the truth of the scriptures. The thing is, they just want an easy going, church service, and to just, I don't know, how does the term go? I guess just to pump up their minds, really. Just to make them think that, they're doing good towards God, even though they're not. Because obviously, those who incline their minds to wisdom and knowledge are the ones who really please Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And not just incline their minds, but also put in the action too. So of course, that's really the perspective of a typical Israelite Christian. The ones who go, as I said, participates in that idolatry, and an actual Israelites who pretty much inclines their mind to wisdom, to keep searching, to keep studying the scriptures, and to gain that fundamental understanding as well, man. But yeah, anyways. So that's Colossians 1 verse 26. And obviously, going back to the other point, which I mentioned, I think, probably 10 or 15 minutes ago, I don't even know. But yeah, previously in this video, where I mentioned the fact that they will also call us insane because of the fact that we put our faith not in the goods of this world. Of course, we use them, but of course, we don't really go overboard with them. That's the point. Be users of this world and not abusers, roughly paraphrasing that scripture. But yeah, I think Psalms 115 verse 9. Yeah, Psalms 115 verse 9 says here, O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. He is their help and their shield. So of course, help and shield. Help, being to support us in the time to come. You know, when the famine hits, of course, Yahweh Shem Shai is going to help us as well. You know, as it says in Job chapter 5 verse 19 to 22, some mentioning, in famine and destruction thou shalt laugh, man. To be in a state where you're going to laugh during famine and destruction, where everyone else, you know, they're struggling and all that, crying, you know, in that spirit of sorrow, we're going to be happy, man. Because like, we've been expecting this for a long time now, man. Especially the apostles as well. They've been expecting this for a long time. But yeah, overall, everyone has been, all those who are doing the works of Yahweh Shem Yahshua have been expecting this for a long time. And when I say this, I'm talking about Jacob's trouble. I'm talking about the famine to come as well. So, yeah, let me read it again. Psalms 115 verse 9. O Israel, trust thou in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshua. He is their help and their shield. And obviously shield, protection from whatever Esau's going to send in our way, man. You know, you got this episode in Black Mirror where they had these AI robots, and this AI robot was chasing down humans, man, and killing them. And of course, there's also this Boston Dynamics robot as well. I don't know if it's the one with that looks like some robotic dog. You know, the one with 4 legs, isn't it? I think the one of which they attached a gun to, and obviously the robot was moving and the guns were shooting. So obviously that was probably with a remote control as well, but not with the robot. The robot's actually, there's some AI that programs it or something. But anyways, that's Esau's work, and you know, Esau's with that capability. Imagine what Esau's hiding as well. You know, in the time to come, it's gonna be exposed, man. He's gonna really use that weaponry that he's been hiding. But yes, Akim just gotta get ready to see things of which, you know, only that people normally see in the movies. Because you know, Esau's got a lot of stuff hidden. But yeah, man, that's the 3 levels of insanity. Check if I got anything else. You know, let me read John, then some rapping precepts to wrap up as well. John 15 verse 19 and John 8 verse 3. Yeah, because you know, they're all gonna label us, man. The average heathen's gonna think we're insane, so you know, brothers gotta prepare their minds for that. I mean, brothers already know that, but in terms of the new brothers to come, they gotta prepare their minds that they're gonna call us insane, they're gonna call us Supersane, they're gonna call us, well, mainly insane or Supersane, really, because you know, what we know, and what if you were to say what we know, not everyone's actually gonna be able to absorb it, man. Some heathens as well, even if you try their spirit, of course, when you don't, just to see if they're either speckled bird or just a typical heathen, some of them just resist that noise, man. They're like, they don't want to hear it. But anyways, let me get John 8 verse 3 or 15 verse. Let me get 8 verse 23 actually. All right. Yeah, so this is Yahushua speaking. He says, and he said unto them, ye are from beneath, and I am from above. Ye are of this world, and I am not of this world. So of course that goes into the perception of the elect as well, man. Those who are actually destined to be the elect as well, they're not really of this world, man. Hence why we're able to distinguish the illusions of this world, and of course of our world to come, which is Yahushua's kingdom. We know that we're able to distinguish those things as well, man. Which of course is going to be a lot of things, you know, chariots flying around in Yahushua's kingdom. You know, we got Akim in a peaceful state. You know, Israel's going to have their land back again. It's going to be even more nourished. And not just their land, there's going to be planets. You know, a lot of things, man, to distinguish Yahushua's kingdom. But obviously, going back to the point, though, the heathens are of this world, 2/3 as well, because they're pretty much, you know, their mind is on this world, really, hooked up with it. And yeah, it says, ye are of this world, I am not of this world. So that's the point proven right there, man. Just that alone just explains the mindset of the hopeful elect, really. That's really it. But yeah, let me see. John 15 verse 19 as a final precept, just to wrap up. John John 15 verse 19, again, that supports the previous precept, which is John 8 verse 3. It says here in John 15 verse 19, if ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So of course, we know, as the scriptures also say, the servant is not greater than the master. So we must go through afflictions and sufferings too, which is why we've got to endure, man. So Akim, Yabashim Yashai, Yabashim Yashar Tazada, you're edified, and that's the lesson there, man. 3 levels of sanity: sane, insane, super sane. So you might even hear those terms when you get brought out to the judges, man. You know, when we get to the court or something. I think, in fact, where is it? Yeah, Matthew 10 verse 19. Let me just squeeze this in before I close on. Matthew 10 verse 19, man. Because obviously when we're there, you know, you may even hear of the term as well, man. You just may hear of it. But it says, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. So of course, you know, as we're here, we know what's up, we know what's going on, we know what's really going on. Then of course, you know, again, having that faith in Yahweh Shem Yahshua, we should really meditate upon all the things that we could potentially say before that. Don't stress about it, really. That's really what that scripture means. Don't stress about what you're going to say. Just wait. When the moment comes, you'll know what to say. And obviously, that'll be Yahweh Shem Yahshua controlling your spirit to know what to say, man. But anyway, Shalom Akim, and Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, and Yahweh Tazah, you're edified as well. Shalom.